Welcome to the show, Matt Hoy. You are a singer-songwriter with a passion for music. Your music style is described as R&B with a splash of reggae. Having been a vocalist with UB40 featuring Ali Campbell and Astro for a decade, you continue to learn and correlate the two styles of music. In 2018, you released your first solo album, Touch, in which the single Happy won the World Songwriting Award in 2019. Your new album, Strong, is a journey through emotions, which has something for everyone. There's a ton of stuff to talk about with you, Matt. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, and please do tell us more.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for such a lovely introduction. I'm no longer with UB40 featuring Ali Campbell. I was with him for 12 years, but I left in 2021 and just been busy pottering around doing my own little thing ever since, but it was a wonderful time, wonderful journey. But yeah, the kind of music I'm into, I was heavily influenced by R&B growing up as a young boy when I first started listening, especially New Jack and from Bobby Brown to Luther Vandross to Freddie Jackson and all that kind of stuff, George Benson, Michael Jackson. And then being involved with UB40 before that, I'd never really heard of that many reggae artists other than UB40 and Bob Marley. So it was a wonderful journey to, encapsulate myself into even another style of music that I hadn't really discovered. So mixing the two together was just kind of natural after a while. And I think I've achieved it. But they're both wonderful styles of music and a pleasure to perform,
Yeah.
Wow. I want to ask you, how much do you love music?
Oh, that's not the kind of question you can ask. But it's immeasurable. I don't think I could function without music, and not just listening to it, actually making it and manufacturing it and performing it, and just the whole concept, producing it, the constructs of it, the different styles, because each style of music is meant for a different purpose, So yeah, I don't think I could live without music, Skyler.
Yeah.
I'm the same,
Yeah, definitely. Now, you have family members in music?
No, not one.
Wow.
Not one. Yeah, my father, back in the day, he passed away sadly before I was born, but he used to get up in clubs when he was young and he used to sing the swing stuff, the Frank Sinatra stuff and Dean Martin stuff. He was like a crooner, I suppose I get it from him because on my mother's side, there was nobody musical at all, so it has to come from my father's side. But that kind of music myself, I love the old stuff, Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Dean Martin, all that kind of stuff, which is sadly lacking nowadays because people don't sing like that anymore,
Yeah, those are crooners, man.
Well, you had to be able to sing back in the day because, luxury now predicts that when you're in a studio, if you don't get the line right first time, you can go back in and re-record it. There was none of that business when you were stood in front of an orchestra like Frank Sinatra. You had to nail it. And that's why you don't feel like you used to anymore.
Yeah, you know what? My aunt used to travel with the Rat Pack. Yeah, man. And she used to bring them to San Francisco. It's a different kind. She took babysit me and take me to, because I was a child, man. She'd take me to the Presidio where they would come and do their all their gigs, know, and God, just to meet some of these people,
Yeah, I mean, Sammy Jr. I mean, wow, that voice, small man, and I think the thing with the Rat Pack, it was because they were so individually different but so collectively amazing. That was the draw, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Anthony Newley. It was all. I think that's what made it work. It was the different characters and the different styles that individually they could carry, and also as a collective, it was amazing to watch.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing I'm telling the kids today: stop listening and trying to mimic other singers. Right? You need to come up with your own style. And for example, like what you're saying, every one of them sound different, even though it might be the same band.
I think that you're right, Skyler. That is what's missing. And I've had this conversation with so many people, and I think the last artist to influence like a generation would have been Amy Winehouse. And what you find is a lot of female vocalists then just do impersonations of Amy Winehouse because because we sadly lost her at 27, there is no more Amy. But all these new artists try to impersonate her. So you've got a whole realm of different people that all sound the same, trying to sound like, but it gets boring. But if you listen to Amy, you know, she isn't the first to sound like that. If you go hark back to Billie Holiday and all that, it's all kind of been done before, you know? So I don't think kids of this generation would even consider harping back down to Billie Holiday's records, but, you know, Amy's far enough for them. But it's all been done before, but you are dead right. You got to have your own style, your own vision. Stop copying people, because it's not real then. It's not true, you know?
Yeah, see, so for years and years, I played top 40, so I was considered a jukebox singer.
Yeah.
Right? But you can't go anywhere like that. I tell, you know, young people that I'm producing, I'm like, you know what? God gave you your own tone. You know, we have our fingerprint and we have our voice tone. And like, I can go to California tomorrow and call you, or you call me, and I go, hey, Matt, but we ain't looking at each other, and it doesn't matter how far we are from each other. I know your vocal now, right?
That's a really good way of explaining it as well. Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, when I look at Sade, she doesn't have a wide range, right? But you know her vocal, no matter what instrument you put with it. You go, oh, that's Sade, right?
Yeah.
And we have to come up with our own tone, because we have our own tone, but you have to study your own sound. You know what I mean? That's what
I think the 90s was like kind of the last era, really, that artists were individual themselves. You know, they had their own thing going on. And now, like you say, back in the 90s, if you listen to Luther Vandross, you knew that was Luther. If you listen to Jackson, you knew that was Freddie Jackson. You know, if you listen to Michael Jackson, it just everybody had their own style. George Michael sounded like George Michael. Nowadays, anybody could put like an R&B track on. I wouldn't know whether it was Tom, Dick, or Harry. You know, they all sound the same to me. Or vocal coded, you know, thing with the tuning, and you know, where's the artistry gone? You know? Yeah,
man, all that auto tune stuff, man. That's cheating. It's cheating. You know, I mean, you know, because I go back to tape. I've been on 24 tracks tape. All of that. Now we show our age, right? When I lived in Hollywood, man, it was a trip, because I felt sorry for groups that they send their tape in and all that, and then the A&R guy would go, "Hey man, I love it. Come on out to California. Let's have a meeting." And when they get there, they say, "Okay, I've heard your stuff you said, but who do you really sound like?" And you don't want to say you sound like somebody else, because they go, "We already got that. I'll see you later."
Yeah, exactly.
Sitting all in the hallway, ready to come in there, and that's the first thing you go have them. Who do you sound like? And they say, "Well, you know, everybody say I sound like Stevie," and no, man, who do you sound like? Right?
But I remember those conversations, Skyler. I remember people saying that to me. Don't go in and say you sound like George Michael. Don't go in and say you sound like Stevie Wonder, because we've already got one of them. We don't need another one.
That's right, man. And you have to find your own sound, your own style, maybe your own dress, something like that, because you know they're looking for something unique, right? And got to deliver that. But you know, I've been on over 2,500 records, so I've seen all styles, but I would still say I sound like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's really important. Tom, you want to jump on in?
Yeah. Well, I just want to talk a little bit, if we can, about your new music. Certainly, your new album, Strong. It's billed, as you said, as a journey through emotions. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the tracks you've got on there, and your process in how you wrote those particular tracks?
Yeah, I mean, this album for me was the pinnacle of my songwriting career so far, for not just what I achieved with the songs and the content, but also the people I work with. When I'm writing, I always feel that there has to be an important subject matter at hand for me to be influenced and to think about, you know, what I'm writing, because it has to be telling a story. Yeah. And I think all songs should tell a story. And to tell a story in 3.5 minutes is one of the most hardest jobs you will ever do in the world.
Yeah.
I also think writing a love song is one of the hardest things in the world, because how many times can you say I love you in one song and have it be original? You know, it's impossible. But yeah, I mean, the song Strong was the first track I wrote. And basically it is what it says on the tin. It's about all the endeavors we face in life, and, you know, and standing up and fighting forward, and, you know, not giving in and not standing for people's bullcrap, and, you know, just forging forward. There's stuff on there about abuse, physical abuse, relationships. There is love songs. It's all there for the taking, you know. And the stuff on there I wrote and recorded, God, 20 years ago, that I brought back and re-recorded with Mark Walker, who played piano on it. And we had some of the girls from Sounds of Blackness, two of the girls do the gospel on it. It was Strong. And one of the other tracks, I was lucky enough to get the amazing Patricia Lacey, who was backing vocalist for Luther Vandross. She did two of the tracks, so that was amazing for me. On one of the tracks, I had Walter Chancellor Jr., who played sax for Prince on the Emancipation album. I also had a wonderful outro, like prelude outro thing, that Ricky Pageao, who plays piano for Christina Aguilera and Madonna, and he did this wonderful prelude for me. And his wife, Desi DeLuro, sang a duet with me on the track Wonderland, who is phenomenal vocalist. So I was really, really privileged. And sometimes, like, I kind of felt a little out of my depth in the way where I didn't want to tell these people what to do, you know, when they come back with a recording, go, could you just try? Because I felt, you know, really, these people are amazing, you know. But it was so cool to do, and just it's something. I mean, that's the album there. It's something that I'll always have now, and, you know, I'll cherish for the rest of it. Sure. Amazing. But
wow. Now, did you sing lead too with UB40?
No, I was Ali Campbell's second voice. So you now have what they call two fractions of UB40. So in 2010, Ali Campbell, who was the lead singer, he left the original lineup and took two or three members of the original lineup with him. So there became two fractions. I basically took the role of his brother, who was the second voice in the band. And then we toured from 2010. Well, I was with him for 12, nearly 13 years. Yeah. So been around the world many times, been into your yard many times, Skyler. You know, it was a wonderful, wonderful time. You know, filming and recording and performing in countries I didn't even know existed. You know, like places like Suriname and Papua New Guinea and French Guiana, and, you know, it was. I mean, the one gig we did in French Guiana was, I don't know if you remember the film Papillon.
Well, I didn't see it, but
I've heard. A venue now, and we performed in the center. It's just incredible, the places, you know. So everybody knows Red Wine. It's just mental.
Yeah, definitely. In Clear Lake, up in Northern California, did you do a gig with Toots up there?
Quite possibly. We've done so many shows with Toots before he sadly passed away. Yeah, he was amazing. God, what a showman. Absolutely incredible.
I did a duet with Toots, right?
Oh, no way.
And it was a amphitheater up there, and you guys came and played, and Toots came on after. And but I wonder if, because I met so many people on backstage, you know, I don't know if back then, you know,
it's quite possible. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that from what I can remember, the last time we performed with Toots was in Denver, and we played Red Rocks.
Okay,
that was the. And then we found out that he got really ill all of a sudden overnight, and he sadly passed away. But every time we perform with him, because we perform with him in Australia and New Zealand and lots of different around the world, and wow, what a show! He never wanted to end it. You know, I think the last one where he kind of literally rocked the roof off the joint was in Hawaii, and that was incredible. That was in Maui in Hawaii. We couldn't get him off. He was phenomenal. The crowd let him off. It was brilliant. You know. I wrote half of my first album in Hawaii, and Maui was Maui was one of the main, and I recorded the duet I did with Ali, the Bob Marley cover, Who the Cat Fits, with Ali in Honolulu. But Maui, for me, oh my God, it was just because we performed there 4 or 5 times, and it was the Botanical Gardens, the amphitheater.
Oh there. Wow, yeah.
But yeah, Maui is exactly that. It's real Hawaii for me. It just, everything stops, you breathe and you listen, and yeah, stunning.
Man, I want to ask you, because this is Music for Global Change. I started this movement about 20 years ago.
Hmm.
And I want to ask you, who are some of your favorite social conscious music artists?
Well, obviously Bob for one, Prophet.
Hmm.
You know that
Hmm.
just that goes without saying. I think for me, it's not always on a big level that people have made change. I think sometimes it's more of a personal journey for me and what they represent that's kind of helped me
Hmm.
intellectually and lifestyle wise, even within their politics moving forward and in their music as well. And it's people like George Michael, for one, was a huge influence on my career and me as an artist and a writer as well. I think a lot of people, I don't say so much take for granted, but kind of overlook how in depth his actual lyrics were on each album. And the fact that he wrote and produced and played on nearly everything speaks for itself. But the level of his social awareness on each album is sometimes overlooked, you know.
Hmm.
But also, even UB40 back in the day, they were socially conscious of what their surroundings were. You know, from the 80s into the 90s, slightly lost it in the 2000s. But and this is the point where we have that conversation earlier about from moving out of the 90s. There isn't anybody really socially conscious enough for me to take note of because they were all back in the 90s, 80s, when people's and musicians' voices actually mattered because they spoke the truth. Now there's not really anything. They're part of a machine now, so they're kind of all just trying to do better for themselves. They're not aware of what other people are going through in society, you know?
Hmm. Are there social conscious songs on your record too?
They are a little too socially conscious, people would say.
Wow.
I mean, I tried to keep it light-hearted, but yeah, I mean, Strong definitely. I mean, you'd have to listen to them and see what you think yourself. But there's a track called Blue and Green, which is obviously about the earth. We've got How Many Times, which is about physical and social abuse within relationships. Time is about life itself. It's a ballad, a gospel ballad, which is about how fast life moves and how from when I was young and I used to hear gentlemen and ladies older than me go, enjoy what you're doing, respect what you're doing, and remember it, live it, because it goes like that. And I always thought, oh God, I'm 20s, I'm 25, I got it forever, And now I'm 50, and I look back and go, wow, with that, and I'm doing it. It must be a cycle because I'm doing exactly the same thing with kids doing the 20s and just enjoy your life. But socially aware lyrics are where I'm at, to be fair, big. I have to tell a story. My narrative at the moment after the last 5 years is very direct, but that's for another show. But yeah, I am very strong and politically minded that way.
Yeah.
I think if you've got that platform, you have a right to not preach, but give a story. I mean, I would never fall out with anybody for having a different opinion or a narrative because I think that's what makes the world go around. We have a story to tell each other. But yeah, I definitely think artists with that viewpoint as well are the ones I tend to listen to. It's especially going back to George Michael because he's the kind of person who influenced me through telling stories and putting your perspective across within music. And that way, it kind of goes into people's brains. You know what I mean? I don't know when people got headphones on, it goes in more with music.
Yeah. Now, you got your own band, and are you performing?
No, just me. I got the drum on my back, I got the cymbals, and I got the whistle. But that's all I need. I'm joking with you.
That's way cool.
No, I when I go out, I just go with the music behind me via the technicality of memory stick at the moment. But I do a Motown theatre show, which I'm absolutely enjoying like you wouldn't believe at the moment. Yeah. And it's really been a joy delving into the songs themselves, but actually the vocal capabilities of the original artists that sang them and going through the notation that perhaps like Marvin Gaye sang and, trying to do the same thing and realizing, wow, what a singer he actually was. I mean, I knew he was good anyway, but to kind of replicate and do the same is like, wow, this is like ridiculous, Yeah. But I'm just enjoying life at the minute, and there's loads of different things that I've got in the pipeline. TV shows and putting events on and all that kind of stuff within the that I'm really enjoying at the minute, that I would never have done if I hadn't have left UB40, you know?
What I love is I'm out there trying to inspire people to write socially conscious but positive lyrical content. When I started doing positive social conscious music, wow, people are so tired of bad news. I found out there's an audience for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, you know, if you can inspire people to think more than anything, it's just actually think of it as a subject matter and kind of go, oh, actually, yeah, I get that. That's, for me, that's enough. You know what I mean? It's just to ignite something in the brain, I think, is all that's needed sometimes. Because I don't want to be that person who's a preacher. You know, I don't want people to be bored. Oh, God, here he goes again. He's off on his... I don't want to be that person. I just want to have that little drop of water in the well, and then people go, oh, okay, yeah, I see where it's coming from. I get that. And then journey, you know?
Yeah. Tom?
I just want to talk a little bit about how people can connect with what you're doing. Presumably you have kind of social media contacts and stuff like that. So
I do. It's Matt Hoy Official. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, or X as you call it now. I have a Facebook page. But yeah, I mean, and I think even social media tends to segregate itself into different areas of what, you know, I mean, Instagram is pure entertainment. It's just jokes, you know. That's my political stage, Twitter, you know. And then you got Facebook, like the old Photo Family album, you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. But I'm out there, I'm out there doing my thing, and they're all on Spotify and YouTube and Amazon, all that kind of stuff. It's called Strong by Matt Hoy. If you want R&B/reggae, lovers rock, that's the album for you. You know, you'll love it.
Right on, man. Nice. Bless you for taking the time today, man, to come on our show, my brother.
Thanks, Matt.
Bro, it's been an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. I look forward to doing it again so we can talk about other stuff, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I want to connect with you, collaborate, and all that kind of stuff, right?
Let's do it. Oh, it'd be an absolute pleasure. And thank you both for having me. It's been a real honor. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Matt.
Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.